Donald Trump will be heading to the state of California for the first time since he got elected as president. And during his visit, he plans on doing two major things, one of which should probably infuriate some of the people who voted for him, considering he was touting the fact that he didn't receive any campaign donations from big corporations or anything like that. Now, Trump's overnight visit will include a stop in San Diego to inspect 8 sample designs for the wall he's been trying to build. He will also be traveling to Los Angeles for a Beverly Hills fundraiser where attendees will pay up to $250,000 per person. So he's already raising money for his re-election campaign, and I just love the fact that this is news that isn't really making headlines. No one's really talking about it. He is the candidate who talked about corruption, how he's gonna drain the swamp, how he's not gonna take money from these millionaires and billionaires, but he's doing exactly that, and he's going to the state of California, which he cannot stop saying negative things about in order to raise the money for his re-election campaign.
He said about California, they don't care about crime, they don't care about death and killings, they don't care about robberies. Well, then why are you here? My God, the Secret Service is going to have to work overtime to protect Donald Trump in this crazy, dangerous state of California. And if California is so dangerous, how come it's the richest state in the nation? 1 out of 8 Americans live here. It's the 6th largest economy in the world by itself. We've got Hollywood, which is an engine for growth in Southern California, and it obviously sells their products all across the world. You got Silicon Valley in the north. It is now a majority state, meaning that minorities, blacks, Latinos, Asians, etc., are more than white people in California. If that kind of immigration was such a bad thing, how come California's the richest state? How come it's incredibly successful? So this talk of like crime running rampant in California is preposterous. In fact, if California is in such bad shape, how come there are dozens upon dozens of people who've got $250,000 to give away to you at a dinner? It's almost as if we've been pretty successful here in California. So he's ostensibly coming to look at the wall. And in the past, he's intimated that he almost wants to do like a Miss Universe kind of pageant for the different kinds of walls to build.
Because everything's a reality show in his
Everything,
book.
Right? So, but that's not really why he's coming. He can go see the wall in Arizona. He can go see it in Texas. There's a lot of different places he can see the wall. He's coming to California to see the wall, when in reality, he's going to get a wall of money from rich folks. He said during the campaign, to Anna's point, I don't need their money. I don't need their money, okay? I have my own. And all these politicians up here during the Republican primaries, he said it over and over again. It was one of his most successful lines, and I said it at the time. I'm like, that's a winning line, where he said, I already bought all these guys. Well, Donald, now they're buying you. They're not giving $250,000 a person for their health.
That's right.
They're not giving it for charity. They're doing it to buy your corrupt ass. And that's why you're actually coming to California.
Donald Trump is the type of person who knows exactly what to say to appeal to people who feel left behind by our system of government, who feel like they've been abandoned by establishment politicians. He knows exactly what to say. But while he talks the talk, he never walks the walk. He basically filled the swamp with more swamp monsters. And then he's also raising a ton of money, $250,000? $250,000 per person. That's not $250,000 total in one fundraiser. That's per person, He has taken advantage and exploited a corrupt political system from the other side as someone who acted as a donor, and now he's exploiting that same system as a politician. Anyone who thinks that he is anti-establishment or that he drains the swamp is either completely uninformed or is in denial. Okay, because this is what the reality is, $250,000 per person.
Okay, by the way, the legal limit is supposed to be $5,400 for any one candidate in one race, $2,700 in the primary, $2,700 in the general election. So how are they getting to put $250,000 in per person, some even higher? It's because the Supreme Court gutted all the campaign finance laws. So they just call it independent expenditures. They give it to the Republican Party, they give it to the Republican governors, Republican senators, and then forget all that party stuff and the candidates themselves, which they do in masses, but they then give it to organizations that funnel it in through dark money and all these other super PACs and different kinds of PACs. So that is exactly what the corruption is, because the average American knows that nobody's giving away $250,000 or more because they're not getting a return on investment. No, and in this case, they got a wonderful return on investment. So while you guys were getting nickels and dimes in your paychecks because of the tax cuts, the average 1%er gets a tax cut of over $50,000. But if you're really wealthy, let's say you're running an LLC, that's a pass-through business, and it could even be a small business. At $10 million a year in revenue, for example, I think is considered a small business. Might seem like a lot to the average person, but it's a small business. It's not billions of dollars. Well, the amount of money that they could save is $1.5 to $2 million per year. So if this guy gave you millions of dollars per year, giving him back $250,000 so he can do it again is actually a pretty good investment. It's not a charity. They're buying him. He's going to an auction where they have purchased him. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, you know that. And that's exactly what you were complaining about when you wanted Trump to drain the swamp. Unfortunately, he was lying to you through and through. If you become a member of the Young Turks, you'll be saying,
you know, I'm like a smart person.
So do it right now, tytnetwork.com/join. Get the whole Young Turks show every day.